Reinaldo Estevão de Macedo, RDP from Brazil. Come on up, Reinaldo. And once again, Reinaldo's going to be... And speaking again for Reinaldo is Jamie Goff.
Thank you. I've got a lot of anecdotal stories about this guy. First of all, we only got to meet each other while judging. I knew he had been involved in FIP and was destined to be a vice president of FIP. But what happened was at a Chicago show that Jim Mazeppa was very important in organizing, we invited all of Latin America to come to Chicago. And we added judges from Latin America onto normally American teams. And so this was, you know, not officially an official exhibition, but it was pretty damn close and it was large. So what happened was I decided that I needed some practice for my Portuguese. So I had this guy join my team. And by the way, in Portuguese, the first R in a name is an H sound. So it's Reinaldo, okay? So I asked Reinaldo to come on to my team. And by lunchtime, he said, you know, I have some issues I'd like to suggest. So he suggested that with the American judges were mostly senior. And he said, let's try the FIP judging standard. And up to that point in time, it had been a big scandal about how America was the only country not using the point system. So we went ahead and used the point system, and we sat down and he led us through a discussion on how the point system was superior to what we had been using in the United States. And, you know, he changed the minds of all the senior judges in the United States. So we were able then to adopt the point system, all because of this guy. I mean, he shows up, he very diplomatically, calmly explains the thought processes and educated us. And so it's rare that any one person has that kind of an influence on another country. So that's just one little anecdotal story. Here's another one. We'd been working on his application for RDP for a while. And another RDP told me a story. He said, you know, I was going to be nominated, this other RDP. And then what happened was we were just at the final time where my sponsor and I were to sign the application, and my sponsor died. And so it's been 20 years since anyone was willing to nominate me. And he said, I thought it would never happen in my life. Well, let's turn to Reinaldo. What happened was I had agreed to get his nomination through. It was going to be done that year. And 6 days before the nominating forms are done, I end up being hospitalized. I'm in an operation. As they're putting me under, the surgeon turns to my doctor and says, you know, he has less than a 2% chance of waking up from this operation. This guy's a goner. And that's what I hear as I'm going to Right. So what happened was, I'm thinking about all the things I haven't done yet. And one of them was his application didn't get finished. And I thought, what a horrible thing to do to anybody is not finish the RDP application, because it's such an important part of a lot of stamp collectors' lives, right? So I wake up 4 days later, it's December 30th, and my soon-to-be ex-wife says, you need to stay in bed. I go to the computer, I finish his application, I send it to London, and I get an email back from John saying, there's nothing like calling it to the last minute, huh? So, but we did get it done. But those are stories that are just kind of give you a flavor for some of the challenges we had. Reinaldo has been an important part of Brazilian philately for a long time. He's been the president of the National Federation. He is a major collector, and he's exhibited in many different classes. And he, you know, he's got that kind of qualification that the electors look at and say, yeah, this person qualifies. And so what's really neat about Reinaldo is that he's done it all. But more importantly, before the pandemic, Brazil's a big country, and a lot of people don't realize how big it is. It's about the size of the United States with almost as many people. But unlike many European countries, the population's highly dispersed throughout the country, kind of like the United States. You know, we're all not crowded into a large city or capital or only 3 cities. And so early on, the Brazilians had to develop a basis of using Zoom and like technologies in order to include as many collectors in the country as possible into their philately. And it was during his presidency that Brazilian philately really became the test ground for the rest of us when it came to worldwide and internet interactions philatelically. And so what happens is Reinaldo's done a great job with the other executives of the philatelic societies in Brazil in bringing this to grassroots. And, you know, we keep talking about the future of philately as if, what are we going to do? And, you know, when you look at what Reinaldo has done in Brazil with the others, some of whom are here today that I've recently met, they've done a phenomenal job in basically laying the groundwork for internet philately. And so you all can read, you know, the technical achievements in their various bios. And I didn't want to just get up here and tell you the technical developments of this Grand Prix, that gold medal, etc. But Reinaldo is very active in publication, on internet, etc. And we need to appreciate what Brazil has been able to achieve philatelically, growing its base as many of the rest of us aren't growing anything like that. So, Reinaldo, I thank you very much, and thank you for all of your help and guidance.
Hands if you want to try them. We saw something here.